channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and this next thing you're about to watch is from today, the third day of C2E2. I did an interview with Brad Jones. He was a very nice guy. He's very down to earth and really easy to talk to, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I tried to enjoy doing it. I was trying not to have panic attacks while I was in the midst of it, because this is a big deal for me, because this is I'm talking to somebody that not only is bigger than me on YouTube and like has a wider audience, but it's somebody I respect. It's somebody that I look up to, and I just hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I hope it turned out okay. I realize I think I'm off frame practically for most of the thing, but we'll work on blocking as I get more involved. There will be another C2E2 video about the rest of the 2 days that I was there. And the Livio Ramondelli interview I didn't get to do because it was pure chaos, but we exchanged information. And I will be emailing him so that we can do a full-on video chat through like StreamYard or whatever. And we'll be still doing that interview. But hopefully you guys like this. If you don't know who Brad Jones is, go to the Cinema Snob, or Stone Gremlin Productions, I should say, channel and look him up. He's a fantastic YouTuber. He's in my top 3 favorite YouTubers on YouTube, and I'm rambling now, as I always do. So enjoy the interview, and thanks again, Brad, for doing this. I really, really appreciate it. Bye. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and with me, I'm at C2E2. It's Sunday, and Brad Jones, the Cinema Snob, has been gracious enough to talk to me today.
I'm Doug. I'm kidding, sorry.
I should have expected...
It is my middle name, actually.
I should have expected this. And I'm completely caught unprepared. But hey!
You feeling the Sunday at the convention?
I am feeling the Sunday at the convention. So Brad here is one of the people that helped me find my voice for YouTube. I'd watched a lot of videos. I'd made little ones and here and there, but I kind of stopped because I was going through my own things, but when I really wanted to make a go at it, it was Channel Awesome, it was your channel, and Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
The 3 that are in the vicinity where I live. Red Letter's in Milwaukee, you guys are in Chicago, Springfield, now you're in Chicago, I'm out in DeKalb. Also Gino out in Decatur.
Gino Reynolds, yeah.
Yep. So I've been dealing with him and doing stuff with him, and in talks to do our own con.
Yeah.
And just to get word out for your channel, and try to help out people that are maybe help finding their voice. I wanted to talk to you about what you do, because sometimes I think people that want to do this kind of thing don't. I've told you, I've got anxiety problems, and one of the ways I work on it is to keep challenging myself.
Oh, yeah,
There's a lot of people that I talk to all the time, and on other streams where they won't show themselves or whatever because of how they don't feel. And I think that the more we talk about it and the things that we've gone through and where we started and where we're going and where we've been, it makes it easier for some people to actually get out there and eventually find their own voice. And so we're just going to talk about a few things from the growth of your channel and the evolution.
Problem.
So first off what were you doing prior to YouTube videos?
Quite a bit. I was a DJ. I was a DJ for about 4 years. When I started when I was 18, and was that for again about 4 or 5 years. And then I made a lot of my own movies. I made a lot of exploitation movies. So in between DJing work, I would do that. I directed a movie called Freak Out, a movie called Cheap, and Midnight Heat. So I had done a few exploitation movies because that was always kind of my thing. It's what I grew up watching. It's all kinds of movies I did, but I really loved the horror exploitation films. And then the YouTube thing happened. Like, YouTube had started, and not long after YouTube started, I had a lot of free time because I was working a lot of odd jobs at the time, a lot of part-time jobs. So I had free time. So just as a lark, I created this Cinema Snob show to kind of spotlight a lot of Italian horror movies, exploitation films, stuff like that. Because there weren't a lot of shows at the time that were doing that. Now certainly, but back then not really. And did it for a couple of years. Just I loved doing it, and at the time, it wasn't really thought of that you'd be able to do that for a living. You know, like especially on YouTube.
Yeah.
And once I became friends with people like Noah Antweiler and people like that who really gave me a good signal boost on my show years and years ago, and then I joined Channel Awesome not too long after that, 2010 I think, and was really able to start doing this as my full-time job. It was a little bit before I joined Channel Awesome that I was able to start doing this as my full-time job, just with a lot of different promotions and stuff like that I've got.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, were you always into exploitation films and stuff? Like, when did that start? Like, right? Like
when I was a kid.
Really? Like, how old?
Pretty young.
Okay, yeah.
My parents didn't give a shit.
I remember I was like 10.
Yeah.
And I was still watching movies like Old Yeller. And my sister was like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. She's younger than me. She's so like, she wanted, like she was the one who got like Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Dead, like Part 2, and so those were the things that I started. I didn't know anything about exploitation until really when Tarantino came around. And showed me like his joy of sharing that style of movie.
Yeah, it is Rolling Thunder pictures.
Opened the doors to me to not just those kind of movies, but like Sonny Chiba and things like that.
Totally.
Like, opened my eyes to a lot of things, but I never went full on there. I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn kind of felt like a exploitation movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until your channel, like I saw you first, you were just sitting on the floor. There was no chair.
Yeah. That was I think the second year I was doing it, and I didn't have any furniture in there at the time.
And I was like, well, if he can do it sitting on the floor, then I can do it, sitting on the edge of my bed.
My parents pretty much let me watch whatever. I mean, I grew up a movie guy. I grew up going to the video store all the time. We had the HBO Cinemax package when I was a kid, so I grew up watching all of those. And certainly liked stuff late night on cable television. But I watched everything from, Disney cartoons to slasher movies. I was a big slasher movie guy, I still am, but like as a kid, those are my slasher movies were my favorites.
I mean, when I said I was like into Old Yeller, it doesn't mean that I wasn't like, because I was like one of the things I've been trying to get back to reviewing is Crime Story from 1986 to 88, the Michael Mann show.
Dennis Farina.
That nobody talks about.
It's a good show.
And I love talking about those kind of things that nobody talks about as well. I'm like I said, I'm not as big of a horror fan as like my sister is, or like anybody else is. But I went back like after watching your Italian reviews and watched like all of them, and I love them.
Fulci movies.
Like, and like movies like Suspiria.
Oh yeah.
I would have never watched
the Bruno Mattei movies.
I would have never watched it. It also made me like go watch the new version, which was also excellent.
Yeah.
So that's not your channel also exposed me to like those kind of things that I didn't see anywhere else, and I still I don't look for them, I guess. But when YouTube works, you look up something, you liked this.
The recommendations.
Yeah, I still don't see a lot of people doing what you do.
Yeah.
And how you do it, but that leads me to my other part of like what you do, and it's just a silly question, really. But why porn? Because I love watching those videos. They're hilarious. I mean, I know you do like the parody ones. You're not just doing like every porn movie. You do the stuff that has to do with movies and that might be out now, or
there's a lot of crazy like the second episode I did was on Porno Holocaust, this Italian Joe D'Amato movie. It's pretty bad. But that was the second episode I did. So all the stuff, all those kind of episodes that came after, kind of stemmed from that. But also, I did kind of grow up watching a lot of stuff that you could do videos like that out of, because I grew up in the era of like porno movies were movies, they had genres, like action movies, comedies, horror films. They had plots. Sometimes the acting was pretty good. Sometimes you could really get caught up in them, to be perfectly honest. And also, when I was going through puberty and all that.
Oh, yeah,
it was
sure.
in the Skinamax
Oh
days.
yeah, like you
The
could find
Shannon
the tape.
Tweed movies and
Yeah.
like it was, all the bikini movies and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like, so I was coming of age during that time. So a lot of those movies I watched and
Sure.
kind of grew up watching a little bit. So I do have a wealth of knowledge for those movies, like whether it's those slasher movies, exploitation flicks, sitcoms. I grew up watching because I have shows that have to do with TV series as well.
Yeah, like
I didn't do a lot of sports when I was young. I just kind of stayed inside and watched a lot of stuff.
I watched a lot of stuff. Didn't go outside as much. And it got worse as I got older.
I grew up where
I understand like the whole there was always that tape that you'd find that had the stuff that we weren't supposed to watch when we were kids. It made me think like that South Park episode, like that 3-episode arc where they have the tape and everybody trying to get it back to the Blockbuster before it. So it is something that is like resonates with everybody. They just don't talk about it too much.
I grew up in the era where you could get caught up in those movies.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be like a Shannon Tweed movie on TV, like Scorned or something like that. The hot scene would come on. Be like 12, 13 years old and be like, well, you do your business, you're of that age. But then you like actually do keep watching it because you're like kind of caught up in the plot a little bit. Like, is Andrew Stevens gonna figure out what's going on? Like,
Plus, you never know what's gonna happen. Like, will there be something better than what you just saw that'll lead up, after that?
Yeah.
So, segue though. When you were doing it, when you were first starting out, before you met Channel Awesome, before you like really established yourself, were there moments where you were like, why am I doing this? Should I give up?
On YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
No, not really that, because I love doing it. I would still press on. Like, okay, like before I started the YouTube thing, this is like 2007, I think. I was in my mid-20s. I was a hardcore partier.
Okay.
Like, I was a big partier. I was a big drinker and other things too.
Gotcha.
Like, so I would still keep working. Like, I'd have those moments where I'm like, I don't know if anything is going to come of this, but it's what I like doing.
Yeah.
It's what I'm good at, like making these kind of movies. So I would certainly have those depressive moments where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to lead to anything, but I'm still going to keep doing it. I remember I'd feel bad when I did the first movie I did was a movie called Freak Out, and we had a premiere for it, and it was a big turnout. Like, it was a really good premiere. Like, we ended up packing the place.
That's awesome.
We had this public screening for it and everything. We did a Q&A afterwards. This was years before YouTube.
Sure.
And, we had champagne and everything afterwards. And that was a good high.
Yeah.
But you certainly kind of go back to that low moment where the next day you still got to go back to, like, your shitty part-time job.
Yeah.
But, you still keep doing it.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I've struggled with is as I'm not, like I said, I'm 1,300 subscribers. But every time I make something, especially something that I'm really proud of and I love, and I'm like, oh man, then I go back to my job, and I'm just like, why do it? Like, I could be doing so much better at these if I didn't have this to do. And did you ever feel like you might need something to fall back on early on, or did you have not like a golden parachute or anything, but just like?
I mean, I do now.
Yeah.
But like back then. Not really. Like, well, okay, I take that back, actually. DJing.
Yeah.
That was what I was in school for. That was something where I was like, I could probably find work again as a radio DJ. So there was always kind of that, and I did like doing that. That was before YouTube and everything. That was my favorite job I had. It was the longest job I had too.
I'm not gonna lie and say I've seen all your movies, but I have seen like the last 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And first off, congratulations, because you're doing a really good job.
Thank you.
Jesus Bro was so funny.
Thank you
so much.
Another
Cinema Snob movie. was so fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Disco was hilarious.
Oh, cool.
And,
yeah,
the
I
first
like
Cinema
Disco.
Snob movie is really great too. I loved it, how you've taken this character and
it has evolved. Yeah.
It has evolved.
You have to. You do it this long, it's got to evolve.
Because being then filmmaker and a screenwriter, and you're getting some pretty good word of mouth, I think.
Yeah.
You're known now. I talk to people here, and they know, like, there's a lot of people from all over the place, not just Illinois.
Yeah.
People talk, and I say, hey, I'm gonna go talk to them, and they're like, oh, Brad, Tamara, and they all know you guys. So you're nationwide.
Yeah.
You're not. You guys are close to Chris Stuckman, who's like pretty big. But do you think that being a filmmaker and screenwriter, that there would be a point where you're hoping to be able to step more away from YouTube and focus on doing films and writing scripts, or do you think you'll always just kind of do this?
Keep doing
for
this
the duration.
As long as I'm able to do both, like. Yeah, I love making movies, it would be cool if that was more of our full-time thing, really. Either writing, directing, producing, or something like that. I mean, I've done that way longer than I've done YouTube. But they both, with us at least, they both kind of go hand in hand with each other at this point. Like, if it weren't for the stuff on YouTube that I love doing, like I don't get burnt. I've not gotten burnt out yet. I still love doing it because it's all about evolving the character on the Snob and incorporating new types of movies into it, maybe different styles or something like that. And even the other shows as well, like whether it's the food shows or new shows that I'm trying out, new shorts that I'm trying out. It's all creative, and it's still fun to act in. It's still fun to do, and it definitely also supports stuff like Disco.
Yeah.
The movie I wrote and directed is a very micro-budgeted movie.
Oh yeah.
Certainly the Snob movies, it promotes that definitely. So I'm still cool doing it both simultaneously. Like if years and years and years and years go on, and I'm still doing both of them together, that still works for me because for years we've been able to manage both things. If it gets to a point to where like, we're primarily doing movies right now and we're able to support ourselves and our lives and everything through the movies, then great. Because we'll always be doing the movies. But people still love watching the YouTube channel. We still love doing it. So I'm completely down to doing it, still doing it for decades.
What would you say are some of the reviews that you're proudest of?
Let's see.
Like ones that you just go, yes. Like
the Cinema Snob?
Yeah, of the Cinema Snob that you just like. You feel like you loved what you were talking about, and it shows, and it just like you just feel like it nailed it. Like, because I loved like Caligula was my.
Oh yeah. That was a fun, because that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, you could just tell like when somebody's really into something, they light up even more than.
When I get to like stick up for stuff that has gotten kind of maligned in the past, like Mommy Dearest, which I love, or 1941, or The Hollywood Nights, or movies like that. Like that's cool to do. The melodramas. I love doing the melodramas because no one else does those. No one else does like Windy City or Independence Day 1983 or Dreamer or Moment by Moment and things like that. I love it because those are sometimes that you can get material out of them. Yeah, certainly, but it's a different kind of material than watching like one of the horror movies or something like that. So I love kind of doing episodes on those movies that no one has talked about in like 30 years or like maybe barely remembers, and suddenly people are watching a review for Until September, this obscure Karen Allen movie from 1984. So right now actually those are kind of my favorites, are the melodramas.
Well, I mean, I used to do and I still want to. It's hard to get, sometimes when you haven't done something in a while, it's hard to get back. I used to always do
movies that I'd call either like essential viewing or last viewing. Like if I didn't force myself to watch this, I'd never watch it again.
Yeah.
But then like movies like Better Off Dead that people forget about, or like or One Crazy Summer, both like
One Crazy Summer,
Steve Holland movies that nobody really knows about except for those few people. And when you get the response back from people that are like, "Oh my God, thank you for talking about this movie," it's like I feel like definitely those like 1%ers out there are the ones that feel really good.
Oh shit, I remember this movie. Yeah,
it was like I did a Die Hard video last November or something like that, and I was really proud of it. But I know that like everybody's talking about Die Hard. But when you talk about something like really like random or movies that people forgot, like Ghost in the Darkness from the 90s, I love talking about that movie, and it shows when you're doing it. So. Really quickly, do you have any like dream reviews, like things that you're just meaning to get to that you haven't gotten to? Like,
there's a lot.
Like something you're holding in your back pocket for like, okay, one of these days I'm gonna bust out this.
Maybe. Well, I have a list of like that I've had for years, where it's like movies to eventually get to.
Yeah.
Some movies have been on there for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I pre-plan a little bit, but sometimes that changes. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, I want to do this one instead. And suddenly one is bumped up higher in the queue. A lot of times throughout the month, I'm just looking at the list and going like, okay, I feel like doing this one right now. Thief in the Night, that series I've been wanting to get to for a while. This Rapture series from the 70s. What else is there? There's a lot of movies on that list. More like Bruno Mattei movies like Rat's Night of Terror, and maybe like Women's Prison Massacre or something like that. Like those would be cool. The Skinamax movies, that would actually be fun to kind of tackle a lot of those. Like the Shannon Weary movies, the Shannon Tweed movies, Bikini Car Wash Company, movies like that.
Cool. All right. So that's about it. All I have left was like, what do you watch when you're not like on TV? What do you watch when you're not reviewing a movie? Because I know you've done Fuller House and for the channel, which
I wouldn't be if it wasn't for the.
I couldn't.
I wouldn't be watching that leisurely.
I can say that I've seen every episode of the original.
I haven't.
Because that was we were living in a very religious house, and it was.
Oh, okay.
TGI Friday.
Oh, sure. I was a Family Matters guy.
The show that everybody hugged and everyone and at the time I was like all into it. But I mean, I grew out of it really quickly, and everyone wanted to go back. And then this came out, and I'm like, oh Jesus! But like, what do you watch like that in your downtime that you go, I must see TV for you?
I'm usually not watching movies because I watch movies for my job. So like, I'm watching every movie that comes out in theaters, and then the stuff in the Snob and other things. So when it's my downtime, I'm usually not watching a movie unless it's
like what kind of TV though do you?
I watch a lot of television series. So usually it's maybe we're watching reruns of like Frasier, Friends, Cheers, or something like that, or like Miami Vice, so stuff like that. I grew up watching. We so usually it's just kind of whatever we sort of stumble across. Like right now we're watching those 911 shows, the Ryan Murphy ones.
Okay.
Those are great. Oh my God, those are insane.
They are insane.
Like dude. Like I've actually started doing like little nods to him a little bit on the Cinema Snob.
Yeah.
Lloyd's out of context 911 clip of the week. There's 911 and there's 911 Lone Star. They are entertaining as hell. Oh my God. You don't know what's going to happen on there. Like suddenly someone will just be struck by lightning.
Yeah.
They're crazy. Like one dude in the second or third episode of the first 911 show gets in a car wreck and has like a rod through his skull. A couple months later, he's fine. He's back at work. He's just got a little scar right here. He's good. I recommend it. Check that shit out.
Okay.
We usually just have on some television series or something.
Where can people find your movies to buy your DVDs?
Let's see. The DVDs you can get at walkawayentertainment.com. There's also links to them over at thecinemasnob.com. And our channel is youtube.com/stonedgremlin productions.
And your Twitter is at?
The Cinema Snob.
Okay, I don't want to keep you any longer because it's really busy
yeah,
here.
no problem.
You got to sell DVDs.
Oh,
you
it's
gotta
all
talk
good.
to other people besides me.
No problem.
And sorry it took me so long to get to you.
Oh, dude, it's no problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really
course.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
Brad Jones, everybody, and we're out of here. See you later.
ya.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.